to personally thank you for having the courage to step forward on this issue, and I know you've spoken for a number of years, but today I think you did make some history when you confirmed for us that you had received confirmation from the level of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the reality of the Roswell incident as not being a weather balloon or any other kind of balloon, but of actually being an extraterrestrial spacecraft that did impact the Earth. And I think you also confirmed that there were alien bodies recovered from that crash. Is that true?
Yes, but let me say, my source that initially confirmed the questions that I posed, subsequently denied we met it, that denied we even talked about it.
Right.
That's true.
I understand there's a lot of classification issues involved, but I do want to thank you for confirming that for us.
I'm glad I could be a part
I
of it.
think that's very brave of you and noble. My only other question to you was, you brought up the issue of Dr. John Mack.
Yeah.
He was an abduction researcher.
Yes.
Have you ever been able to get any kind of confirmation about the abduction phenomenon as being a real phenomenon?
Well, I can't say that I cannot prove it personally from my own experience, but I'm quite aware of many of the stories, the experiences that people have, and I take them, okay, these are people's explanation, interpretation of their experiences, but I am not knowledgeable enough to be able to say this one's true and that one's not true or whatever. I just accept these are people's stories and they're part of the lore, and John Mack and the people who investigated them said these are not crazy people. They had an experience.
Yes.
An experience.
Yes. It's been postulated, of course, that the abduction phenomenon kind of works, if the reality and it's known in the government, that will work, in some ways has worked against the disclosure process because of the rather frightening aspects.
Yeah, except for the fact that there are so many very good people that we now know of who have told independently the same sorts of stories about walls and coming through walls and these sorts of things that you start to take it very seriously.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Mitchell, I'd also like to say it's truly an honor to have you here, and thank you.
Thank you.
I love, following every aspect of the space program and all the shots. And one question. Most people are aware of their Apollo 14, Alan Shepard's golf shot on the moon.
Right.
But I think your people, Barry, you also have the feat about Buddy Crowder.
I'm sure about that.
You also have the feat about Buddy Crowder. Is it true that you threw a javelin on the moon?
Oh, yes.
And how did that?
Well, if you look at, some of you have seen the moon pans of Apollo 14, and on one side, in the background is Cone Crater, where we walked, and on one side is me adjusting the camera, and on the other side is the solar wind experiment, and the staff of the solar wind experiment turned out to be a very fine javelin. So then Alan hit his golf ball, and went miles and miles, and turned at 51 feet. And my javelin went 51 feet and 4 inches. So that was the first winter Olympics, the javelin throw and the golf throw.
Thank you very much.
All right, one last question. Right now, here we go. This is it, and we're going to take a break.
Morning, sir. Very quickly, what do you think about the hollow earth theory?
The what, please?
Hollow earth theory.
Oh, okay.
And also, what do you think, what was our real reason for going to the moon in the first place? Was it just to, go up there and do some experiments, or to see about whether it's feasible to colonize the moon?
Well, first of all, I think the evidence of a hollow earth is missing. We know there's a lot of molten lava down there, and it's still coming out. So maybe it's getting a little more hollow than it used to be. Coming out, but there's still a lot of mass down there. And the same thing on the moon. But why did we go? It was a race for the Soviets to be the first into space. But in a larger sense, to me, our destiny is to be universal citizens of the universe. And that means we've got to get out of here in due course, and we'll get out of here. And so that's looking at us in the large picture of what are we really, what is this really all about? And humans have been asking that question for centuries, thousands of years. They look into the heavens, and they look at the stars, and then they say, what is my relationship with all this? Where did this come from? What am I? And we're still asking that question, and hopefully we're getting a little better answers than our predecessors did a few thousand years ago. Thank you for being a great honor.